What is going on, everybody? This is your boy JC from JC Eagles Talk, and today, man, look, this is a Happy New Year's. Hey, first of all, to everybody, all right, Happy New Year's, Happy Holiday, hey, whatever you celebrate. Hey, I hope that this past few days been wonderful to you, and I hope that 2022 bring you nothing but blessings. All right, blessings upon blessings. But I brought with me my guys today, Hunter and AK. What is going on, fellas?
Hey, what's going on, man? Happy New
Doing
Year,
well.
both of you.
Yeah.
Clinch.
And look, hey, look. All right. So before we jump into it, all right, these are the only inactives that we have for the Philadelphia Eagles today. Miles Sanders, of course, is the biggest name. Sean Bradley, he came off the list a couple days ago. I'm surprised that he's inactive. Maybe some side effects, whatever.
He got in a car accident on the way to Novacare yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
He got in a car accident.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's okay, but he had some issues with his shoulder, so they just wanted to be cautious with him.
Oh, okay. All
Pretty
right.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. But besides that, are you surprised that Jordan Howard is not on this list right here? You know, after all, he did have a stinger. Yes, Nick Sirianni was saying that it's not the same injury from a couple of years ago that took him out for like 6 weeks. But are you surprised that he's playing today?
Go ahead,
I mean, it seemed like he was kind of trending towards playing, so I wouldn't say I'm too shocked. I could see both sides, like you said, the shoulder stinger from years ago is what everyone is really worried about because that was day to day for about 8 weeks. So that's definitely a concern, and I don't know if that's ever really going away for him. And that's his style of play. I mean, he goes in and he seeks contact, and he's going to bowl you over. But if that shoulder's not 100%, you got to worry about it. Now, I mean, if he's all right to go, that's fine. But if something happens long term here, I mean, he's a crucial part of this team, both as runner and in pass protection. So that's going to hurt us. But I think our style of football, the way we run the ball with that offensive line, I feel okay. Even if he's not 100%, and they just want to get him some carries today, I feel fine with Kenny and Boston no matter what happens.
All right, so AK.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Hunter on this one. I don't think he was ever as bad as what people thought initially he was. But I also am thinking in the way of they are pretty dead set on hoping that they clinch this weekend. And as things fall, it's pretty possible that we could if things fall the way that they should. And I think they're looking at it as, okay, we can use him this week because Miles is out. We need him, so we'll use him. And then next week he can rest. That will give him at least 2 weeks to rest his shoulder. And especially if it's not as bad, then if he can handle it, and I believe that's how today is going to be based for him. They're going to put him out there. And if on the first contact, they're going to ask him, "Are you good?" And if he goes, "Yeah, I'm fine for now," and each and every drive, at the end of every drive, they're probably going to ask him, "Are you good?" Just keep up with him. And as long as he says he's good, they're probably going to roll with him. But the moment he says, "Nah, well, I need to sit," they'll sit him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. It just because I feel like, hey, we should be fine with Boston Scott and Gainwell, and you did bring back Kerryon Johnson. So yes, he's on the practice squad, but still, but hey, we'll see, man. Hey, I'm hoping for the best, and we'll see what happens. We do need that physical, that big back in Jordan Howard. In the Washington football team, I'm telling you right now, all their defensive players, as far as their defensive line, they all is back and stuff like that. I know that they're missing Lennon Collins is on IR, and I believe Jackson, their other DB, he's out, but Fuller is back. And then they had this guy named Curl. He's back. So they're going to be physical. I believe that they are going to blitz a lot more than they did. Del Rio, right? That's the defensive coordinator for them. Yeah. He's not going to let us run for 244 on them boys again. So, hey, we're just going to see I mean, we're going to talk about who's this game on. Is it going to be on our running game or on Jalen Hurts' shoulder? But I'm talking about a Jalen Hurts. And we went from, is he the guy, to being a backup in alternate Pro Bowl. How do y'all feel about Jalen Hurts going into this last a couple weeks?
Yeah, okay.
Man, I've told you from the moment that we drafted Jalen Hurts, he was not a polished quarterback by any means. Now, it was going to take time. It was going to take patience. We talked about this a little last night on Rock's channel, on our show that we have with a cave. And Hunter was there, so he knows what I'm talking about when I say this. Jalen is one of those guys, I believe in college, because of how much of a playmaker he was with his legs, they took advantage of it a lot. And they showed that. Not a lot of people, like, they tried to help him probably progress, in his play calling and reading defenses and stuff and scanning the field. But they knew how much of a dynamic playmaker he was with his legs that freeze. Yeah, I froze. Okay, I'm back. Right. Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was such a dynamic playmaker with his legs that they counted on him to do that. I've seen him really progress in the last 5 weeks. Like, for instance, that check down he made to Reagor on that screen pass. The check at the line he made, and he turned it into the screen pass. That was a check that he saw, that he called. That wasn't anything to do with Nick. He read that defense, and he checked to the screen pass to Reagor, and it picked up 20 yards. That is something that he's progressing. But it's like I said last night, how many average plays are in a 3-4? And then in that one scheme, how many different styles or different ways can you make that one play look? You know what I'm saying? There's variance to everything. I mean, you could possibly say there's maybe 200 different defenses he needs to memorize.
Yeah.
Right? So that all takes time. You can't expect somebody with only 16 games under his belt to memorize that many defenses that fast. But what he has picked up on and what he has been working on in the offseason, he's done a pretty damn good job of it so far. And I'm looking for his jump next year. This will be the first year that he truly has the same offense going into next year. Yeah. He can work on his mechanics. He can work on his mental, IQ in football with reading the defenses and going through his progressions. All that will come this offseason. But what you wanted to see him work on in the regular season this year to improve to be that guy next year, I believe he's taken those steps.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is big game for Jalen. I mean, I think the last 2 weeks we said biggest game of Jalen's career.
Yep.
And he's lived up to it. I think he's gotten off some slow starts, which can't happen today or in the playoffs. There's just some plays like the one last week where almost threw that pick on the first drive, just got to throw that ball away. So it's just some things. I think especially against the Giants, for whatever reason, we tried to force it through the air a little bit. And I think Jalen felt like he had to force it too. So I don't think we'll do that today. I think today we're going to just get off to a good start on the ground. And if Jordan Howard's, if he's a full go once, like AK said, if he's full fighting through contact and he's good, I think that's going to help a ton and do wonders for Hurts on these first couple drives today. And I think we're going to get out to a hot start. And I think Jack Del Rio, I really do respect him, but I think those guys who are on the field for him, I think they've thrown in the towel. I mean, I think you saw last week too. Like, I think, those two guys, Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, I mean, they've gone back since Alabama, and those two guys were just throwing hands at each other. Look, I think they'll come out here with a punch. I don't think they're going to lay down and roll over the first drive, but I think we're going to wear them down drive by drive. And I think by that last drive, Hurts and Howard on the ground are just going to really – they're just going to end their season, say start the buses and send them home. So I think Hurts is going to have a strong game today. I think, like AK said, I've always been of the opinion that he needs the third year because that's where a lot of guys show up. That's where you see a lot of progression. And, yeah, I think, those mechanics that he needs to fix up, that needs to become second nature. And if he can continue to make that second nature, then all he has to worry about is reading the field. And a lot of that does come with reps. Like AK said, like you just need to see it over time and see it over the game and make those adjustments. Because I think a lot of times he's seeing a lot of stuff, even what he sees on film, there's stuff they're gonna show at you the first couple of drives that you don't even see on film because they know you're a young quarterback and they're gonna try to rattle you a little bit. So I think he's handled the challenge well. And I think today's another challenge, and whatever happens, if we clinch and we go to the playoffs, that's going to be another challenge for him. And I think it'll be good for him to get that experience. So I feel good about Jalen going into today. And I think he's going to have a strong outing.
So overall,
let me bounce off something real quick that he said too, about the whole Payne incident and stuff last weekend and this defense that we're going up against. I made it known last night. I don't believe Washington's ever going to win another Super Bowl until Dan Snyder's gone.
Facts.
Okay, I don't. Because listen, Dan Snyder is Washington's kryptonite.
Yeah.
He is the reason that team is so bad. Okay, you have all the stuff that is going on up top, with all these the sexual abuse scandals and all this stuff, and you heard everything. Dude, that's how dysfunctional this team is. I mean, if their upper management and owner himself is dysfunctional, that shit spreads all below. Yeah. I understand, like, when you have players that are on the same team, we fight. I played football in high school. I understand. We fight. But there's a difference between fighting and then literally just being completely ripped apart. And that is what this team has been through everything this year, and I pity so much Ron Rivera because I actually have a lot of respect for Ron Rivera. I do. I think he's one hell of a coach. Okay. But he got thrown into a shit show. And that is what Washington is, man. They really are. And I feel so bad for this man, and I feel bad for a lot of their players too. Because to be able to come out here and even just win how many games they've won this year already, 6, with all the function that they have, props to them, man, because I don't know any team who would be out here competing the way that they do with all the things that have been going on in that organization. So, but that's why they have no hope, because their organization compared to ours and how we function and how we're built and our mental standpoint at this point. Listen, Dan Snyder is the type of snake who will tell these guys to lose just for having a good draft pick. I'm not even playing. He will do that. He will look at Ron and be like, tank these next 2 games so I can have, like, if it moves him from 6 to 4, he'll do it. That's what I'm saying. He is that type of owner. So I would not expect them to come out here and play for anything at this point. I mean, they don't even believe in their own owner. Their owner doesn't believe in them. It's just a shit show, man. It really is. It's a circus.
All right, so hey, how do y'all feel about this game? I mean, do you, AK, you say hey, they had nothing to fight for, maybe, but hey, do you think the whole last week they got embarrassed on national TV on the only Sunday night game that's going on? They got a 50 burger put on them. So do you feel like that with pride? Hey, they're all men, they're football players. So do you think, how do y'all feel about just going into this game knowing all that? What happened last week? Do you think, are they going to show up, or are they just going to say, hey, it is what it is? We only got a couple weeks left. Hey, let's just try not to get hurt. Like, how do y'all feel?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that they are, like I said, I think they are going to show up and punch the first couple drives, first half probably. I don't doubt that at all. Like you said, they're men. They're going to go out there and try to take us down with them. Because I don't think they're officially eliminated from contention, but obviously they need it to happen. But I just think with, it's not even just them. It's just the guys on the field aren't first-class talent. There's going to be, in addition to, I think, a coaching and an organizational advantage that we have, like AK mentioned, I just think there's also a talent disparity in this game because Antonio Gibson is out. J.D. McKissic's out. You're going to have to start – you're going to have to start Jarrett Patterson at running back, who, go college running back. But, I mean, that's a tall task for a guy to carry a run game the way that Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissic were for the majority of the season. I think they've still got their guys at wideout, but they've still got injuries along the offensive line too, which was a big reason why they struggled last week. And I wouldn't be surprised if Fletcher Cox is cozying up next to Taylor Heineke like Randy Gregory was last week at some point. And on the defensive side of the ball, they're even more decimated. Their front will be there, but their linebackers they're solid, but they're not anything crazy. Like you said, Cam Curl will be back. I think that's going to be big for them just to help, hopefully, for them on their side, hopefully contain Goddard, maybe have him help out on running backs from time to time and pass coverage like Kenny. So they do have some guys back, but at the same time, I think they've lost so many guys throughout the year, and it's just there's been such a lack of continuity in terms of roster and personnel. I just think it's really tough to expect them to win from week to week now. And I think they could, like last week was embarrassing, but that can also have the opposite effect at this point in the season where it's just like, what's the point anymore? Like AK said, like it comes down to the owner too. That's a big part of it. He's an absolute scumbag, so he could totally just throw in the towel. And it could be an opposite of what happened last year, where we put in Nate Sudfeld, and they could put in Kyle Allen, or I think Kyle Allen's a way better quarterback than Nate Sudfeld, but they could just throw the guys in there in the fourth quarter if we're up by a good amount. And I think that Washington fans will hope they can fight, but I just don't see how it happens today, man. Like I want to be cautious, and I don't usually like to get ahead of myself, but and I, of course, now that I say this, we'll probably be down like 10-3 at halftime, and then we'll have to come back. I feel really good about us just getting the job done today. So that's just where I'm at. I mean, I'm sure I'll regret saying this by game time, but like that's just how I feel pregame.
Okay.
No, don't feel like you should regret that. I believe that Kelsey's speech is going to really motivate these guys today. I really do. And you make a valid point. There's a lot of injuries, and now they lost the right guard as well, So, I mean, Washington is in a very bad state. And I've seen this. I don't know if it's right or not, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I believe Philadelphia is in the top 10 in all pass defense stats. That's like third down conversions. That's like everything. Defensive, pass defense, defended, everything. We're like in the top in every category. So that means we have a pretty good pass defense. So I'm not worried about their pass game that much. I'm really, and like Hunter said too, I'm not worried about Patterson. I mean, Gibson barely did anything against us.
Exactly.
The very first game. So what the heck can Patterson do that Gibson can't? Maybe he'll surprise me. I don't know. But anything's possible. But there's no way, man. Like he said, the only thing that their threat is the defensive line. Well, what's our biggest positive? Our offensive line. Yeah. So you just set these big boys up and you just wear them down. And you just keep running the ball. And this, like I said last night, even if it doesn't work in the beginning, say they shut us down, keep running it. Obviously, you got to pass to keep them honest, but you keep running it because eventually our big boys are going to wear them down. And whenever they get worn down, everything will start opening up. But don't abandon it just because it ain't working. You know what? Even though it's not working, it's working. You get what I mean?
Yeah. Wow. Hey, y'all both are way more optimistic than I am because I'm saying divisional games, man. I don't care who's in the lineup, who's not in the lineup. Divisional games are scary games, man. And that's what the NFL did that. Like, if you look all across the league, there's a whole bunch of divisional games, and some people are just out just to ruin other people's season at this point, and some people are fighting for their lives. Washington have a 6% chance of making the playoffs still. There's a chance. 6% is a chance. So I really feel like at least the first half. All right. So what would the score be like in the first half of the game? Because the Eagles are known for starting slow, man. Like, I can't recall the last time we started fast and the Lions game, I believe. But a lot of these games, it seemed like we're struggling until we get a wake-up call, and then we start going back to what really, really works. But yeah, look, in this game, I will get y'all score prediction later. But this game right here, I believe it's going to have to be won on Jalen Hurts because Del Rio, I know as a defensive coordinator, you just saw these guys 2 weeks ago, and we ran through them like 10-day-old spoiled milk. Like, I mean, that's how bad we ran through them, you know? So I'm just saying, I think a pride thing, maybe the first half, they're going to come out there and say, all right, yo, let's try to ruin these guys' season. And if they can't, maybe the second half, I just sit down. But the first half is going to be like, come on, what y'all doing? Let's go. And then, yeah, we'll see what happened. But yeah, and y'all are very confident, and I like it. I like it. Yeah, I really do. All right, so how do y'all think that Nick Sirianni, man, has done so far? I mean, with all this being said, we are 8-7. I mean, we are headed. Well, we soon will be headed to the playoffs. And what grade would you give Nick Sirianni so far this season?
I would give him an A-. And the reason that I say that is, we gave him a lot of shit at the beginning of the year for a lot of things he was doing. And he took this offense and he completely 180'd it. All right, first off, that is very hard to do in the middle of a season, to completely just take your offense and 180 it. You went from pass heavy to run heavy in like a matter of a week.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And you get credit for that. You and Steichen, you created a great game plan for the second half of the season here. But, a lot of people look at it and they say that's the Eagles losing confidence in Jalen Hurts' arm. And I don't believe that's what it was. In fact, I believe that the complete opposite. I believe Nick actually trusts Jalen a lot.
Yeah.
Because Jalen does have a very high football IQ. And I believe Nick thought that he could just throw the whole playbook at Jalen Hurts and he would be able to develop kind of on his own and through what he sees. And later on, about week 5, he realized, okay, I can't do this to this kid. I actually have to pull the reins back a little bit and give him one thing each and every week to work on, because then he can just dedicate his mind to that and he can work on it. And then once he masters that, he's just spoon feeding him. He realized, it's easier to help Jalen progress by giving him a little bit each and every week to work on rather than throw it all at him. And that's where I think you've seen that progression from Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni both in this second half, is because they've both benefited from it. He made it easier for Hurts, and he's also made it easier for himself. So I give him an A- for that.
Look, I would give the exact same grade as AK, A-, because for the reason he said, he did not adjust quick enough, I don't think, early in the season. I think we had so many weeks where we were saying you can't just run the ball 10 times a game and expect to win football games.
Yeah.
I mean, in the Dallas game, look, even a rookie head coach shouldn't run the ball 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, Miles Sanders has only like 3 carries the whole game.
Yeah, and the rest of the carries were all Jalen Hurts just scrambling because he had nowhere to go the whole night because we didn't run the ball and then they knew they could just pass rush, and our offensive line was just getting beat up and tired. So yeah, look, I think I definitely give him an A- because, like AK said, that turnaround is not easy to do. I would probably give him an A or an A+, but I think a lot of the credit has to go to Jeff Stoutland because he is the run game coordinator, and I think he knows these other teams' run fits, and he knows how to attack them. And also, I think, the players deserve a lot of credit because they went up to Sirianni, a lot of them, and I think especially the offensive line, they were like, dude, we can run the ball down these teams' throats. Like we are that type of team. And I think, you also give Sirianni credit for that too, because he's a very approachable coach. I think a lot of coaches, they have their system, they have their offense, they have their way of play calling, and they want to stick to that because that's what they believe. And, they don't really want to be willing to change, but Sirianni was willing to change. And I think on both sides, I think he talked to Gannon too. And I think Gannon has been willing to get a little more aggressive towards back into the season. Now we'll see how Gannon does, I think, against better competition in the playoffs. I think that'll be a good test for him. But, while the opponents haven't been that flashy for our defense, I think you'd still give credit to them for changing up the scheme a little bit in the back end. So, I think Sirianni's done a great job. I think you also have to give credit for Sirianni for just realizing look, being an offensive coordinator is a lot different than being a head coach, and I have a lot more
Yeah.
responsibility. I'm responsible for all 53 and the practice squad now,
Yep.
and I still got to, these guys who are on injured reserve, like they're still a part of the team. So managing that and just knowing how to communicate to all these guys and build a message that's great for all these guys. I think he's got everyone to buy in. I mean, the flower message, ironically, was what hurt this start. So credit to him. He knows how to get the guys in the locker room to
That and the Jeter lines. Hey, did the
yeah,
Jeter line?
yeah, exactly. So he
That's
knows
the,
how to get these guys to buy in and be one and be unified. So I got to give him a lot of credit for what he's done this year. And next year's going to be a big year for him, just like it will be for Jalen.
Yeah, and I agree, man. Like that's the thing. There's a lot of firsts on this team for a lot of people.
Yep.
yes.
First time full-time starter in the NFL for Hurts. First time head coach for Nick. First time DC for JG. Rallis being the linebacker coach. All this stuff, man. It's the first time for everything. Yeah. Like these guys had to come together. They had to mold everything. And like we said, it's just a patience thing. And it's like Nick said the other day, they didn't even play their best game yet, they don't believe. And they haven't. So it's only up from here. And I believe it's just literally everyone is just settling into their place now. You're starting to see it, and every player is starting to feel more comfortable in their scheme. You can tell people are playing more with just pure instinct than just having to sit there and think about what they're doing. So it just took some time, man. But yeah, this team is definitely going to be better. I mean, granted, I'm pretty sure we all expect to lose JG this offseason as
Do
a head
we?
coach somewhere. Yeah, he's one of the top candidates actually this year's. So I expect I heard something, maybe Jacksonville. I don't know, but just saying we might end up losing him. And if we do, well, we got to replace him. But for what we have, though, and this is a very young coaching staff as well, very young, for the most part. There is some old guys on here, I won't lie, but for the most part, though, they all are very young. They got to learn, and they got to take their lumps as they take them and learn from them. So, yeah, they've done a great job.
Hey, Nick Sirianni, hey, there's some people saying that he should, get consideration for Coach of the Year. That's how, good of a job he have done. And the thing is this, he could have been a lot more successful if he only could just get out his own way and say, hey, you know what? Hey, let's just run the ball, whatever it is. But look, I understand, man. You've been waiting your whole life to be a head coach. You want to put your own system in place. So, and that's why I feel like in the beginning he was trying to force his system, but he didn't have the right guys in place for his system, and he had to change it a little bit. So I agree. I never took his first press conference to the heart, the whole rock paper scissors thing to the heart. Man, it is what it is, man. I never took that to the heart. I just thought, hey, look, he's trying to get guys to relax a little bit. They're kids, and he interviewing them. So I never could care less about that. But I think that he's been doing a good job. I love his energy. I love the relationship between him and Jalen Hurts. The type of relationship that he has. So I give him an A. I give him a solid A and 1 vote for Coach of the Year. So that's what I do. So, hey, Jonathan Gannon, right? I don't even know how to feel about him. Like honest truth. Yes, our defense is in the top in a lot of categories. I understand. But we have not. We won 6 out of the last 8 games. But we have not played against a good quarterback. It's hard for me to say this guy, he should get a head coaching job, or our defense is, the bomb, because we really have not seen him coach against good quarterbacks. So how do y'all feel about Jonathan Gannon and his defense that he has in place? Is it really that good, or is it competition? Like what?
You want to go, or should I?
You got it.
Okay. listen, JG in my mind, man, if he does not get a head coaching job, he needs to come back next year. Okay, and that's my honest opinion. Listen, I really like what he has done. I mean, for crying out loud, he's got TJ Edwards playing great right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's got. I'm really intrigued to see Sean Bradley when he's finally freaking healthy. You know, but Taylor, I mean, Taylor's made big improvements this year. Even Avery, man.
Yes.
You know, I said it at the beginning of the offseason. I said, everyone, watch out for Avery. I said they moved him back to linebacker, his natural position, which is what he played in Cleveland, and he was actually pretty damn good when they used him. So I was like, he's back at linebacker, and he's done solid. Like, he's not been anything like, ooh. He's been there, you know? He has. He's done a very good job, and he's stepped up. So, I mean, linebacker-wise, I think our biggest downfall, though, is that players and scheme don't fit in certain positions.
Yeah.
You know, he has only a limited talent to work with at linebacker. It's definitely up and coming talent. You know, we can see it as long as we can actually develop it, but it's there. You know, but still, where it's at, it's very raw.
Yeah.
You know, Nelson has been okay. I'll just say okay. You know, he hasn't been the worst, but he hasn't been the best. You know, Maddox, dude, he's got Maddox falling out this year.
Yeah.
Truly, you know. And I mean, he did have Hargraves going there for a while too, until I don't know what happened there, but yeah. So all in all, man, he has done a very good job. I mean, we do. I believe we have a top 10 defense, right?
Yes, I think we like right at 10 or 11. So
we're there. And I mean, you look at what he's done with the limited amount of talent that we do have on the defense, because we did lose BG, you know.
Yeah,
Barnett is nowhere near what we ever thought he would be. Sweat is a hit and miss games here and there, you know. Cox has been nowhere to be seen all year for the most part. You know, Hargraves started out really strong, and then he's just went dead, like flatlined. I don't know where he's been. You know, our secondary, Harris has done a very good job. You know, but it's not our secondary that we're used to seeing. It's still, you know, a little iffy. So, man, I just gotta. I'll give him a B+, man. Like he has not. I get it. There was things that we bitched about. We always will bitch about something. Always going to find something to bitch about. So it's nothing new to me. But like I said, for the talent we have, man, he's done a really good job this year.
All right.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think coming into the year, we knew we didn't have a ton to work with on that side of the ball. And we all talked about most of the year how defense was what we wanted the 3 first-round picks to be addressed with.
Yeah.
And I think that's still the case for a lot of fans. You know, obviously best player available comes into account, but we'll talk about that once draft time comes. Yeah, TJ Edwards, I mean, I think the willingness to make him like the general of this defense was huge, because they stuck with Eric Wilson for a number of weeks at the start of the season, but it got to a point where they were like, look, Eric Wilson's playing terrible, so we can't keep him out there, which I think was a surprise. I thought Eric Wilson was going to be kind of that veteran to just help these guys with the scheme, and I thought he was going to be serviceable. I didn't think he was going to be amazing, but I didn't expect him to get cut like earlier than halfway through the season. But they realized we've got a younger guy in TJ Edwards who's ready to sprout, and he's ready to go out there and play and kind of be the leader on this side of the ball. And they were willing to make that change, and it worked out. And same with Davion. Once he was ready to go in the lineup and Singleton wasn't playing his best, they made the change and put Davion in there. So that willingness to change, that approachability, I think is huge for Gannon. You know, those two guys, before Davion Dowler got hurt, I think he was really starting to turn a corner. It's a shame
he was.
And like you said, AK, Avery, I mean, in Cleveland, all of Avery's pressures and sacks pretty much came from a stand-up position. And even keeping him as a linebacker at the same position, they still found ways to get him involved in the pass rush, whether it's putting him on the outside or putting him over guards and centers and lining him up there, or stunting him or blitzing him with these guys. Like they've still found ways to get him there from a stand-up position. And that interception that Jake Fromm threw last week was because Jannard Avery got into the right guard or the left guard's chest and forced it into McLeod's hands. So, he deserves a ton of credit for what he's kind of done under the radar, I think, as a playmaker on the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, like AK said, outside of Slay and Maddox on the secondary, there are some holes. Those two guys have played phenomenal this year. But Nelson, you can definitely upgrade from this offseason. I'm glad he's been far better than what we've had in years past at corner number 2. I mean, you talk about like when we've had these guys like Nolan Carroll and Leonidas McKelvin, like that, Bradley Fletcher, Kerry Williams, that whole era. Like Nelson is obviously CB1, the way he's played this year compared to what those guys put out in the field. What'd you say?
Yeah. Orlando.
He made Orlando it like 2 weeks on this team and then gets fired and dropped, and then he goes and talks shit. Like, it's functional. It's like, dude, you couldn't even the last 2 weeks. Come on.
He had this one great play where he ripped the ball out of the
it was against the Jets.
It was the Jets and ran for a touchdown, and then next week he's cut.
just for context, dude, Nathan Gary scored a touchdown in that Jets game, so you can take it yourself. But yeah, no, I mean he's been serviceable. You can definitely upgrade from Nelson though. McLeod's definitely getting up there. I think he's played better, but it's just coming off of 2 injuries and being at his age, two major injuries too. There's only so much you can do, but he's the leader of that defense. So I think you keep him around as long as you can, kind of like Brandon Graham. Anthony Harris, I don't think he's been what we thought he would be. He's been fine, but if you can definitely get like a X factor safety this offseason, that would be a big deal. But I think the biggest thing is, can you get like a game wrecker on that front 4? Because that's what Gannon is really predicated upon, is getting home with those front 4 guys. And I think, losing Brandon Graham hurt. Josh Sweat, I really love Josh Sweat. I think he's going to be a great contributor to this defense for a long time. But I think getting a number 1 guy in front of him would do wonders. And I think, Barnett, he probably won't be back this offseason. I think that's pretty much set in stone. I'd be surprised if he's back. Like we'll see. Maybe Milton Williams can take a step up next year. He's played better the past couple weeks. I think Hargrave and Cox, I'd like to see, because one of them is going to get doubled. So can the other guy win on those single teams? And I think we need to see a little bit more of that. But if that front 4 can get a game wrecker that they can direct attention towards, and the rest of those guys can just go one-on-one, we're going to be in good shape with Gannon going forward. But like you said, JC, we'll see. Like once he plays some stiff competition in the playoffs, and I think that is the concern. Like next year, when we play, I think I think we can chalk a lot of it up to just like early season and learning for these coaches. But at the same time, once we get some of those tougher draws next season, I think we'll find out a lot. But who knows? I mean, Texans' job will probably be open. Gannon could definitely get a spot there. There's going to be some jobs open for sure. And I think, anytime you put up a top 10 defense, there's going to be teams that are going to look for a guy like that. So he's going to be on the radar. And I think Mike K mentioned it was before the season, was he's, in terms of like promoting in terms of roles and stuff, he's risen up the coaching ladder really quickly, and head coach was like the next step. So if not this year, if he continues to have success and does do well against stiffer opponents in the future with better personnel on that side of the ball, he will get some looks down the road at some point.
I got 2 questions for you guys real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So do you guys think that our CB2 comes from here next year already, in between Gowan and McPherson? And if so, who's your favorite to win that? Because mine is Gowan, obviously. And 2, oh shoot, I lost it. Go ahead and answer that one real quick. Oh no, I got it. How do you feel about Jordan Davis in this defense? Now, I know he is a DT, but I truly think Jordan Davis would actually be a very good specimen in JG's defense. And anyone's defense, really, but especially ours.
Jordan Davis is who?
He's a DT for
Georgia DT, right?
Jordan.
He's 6'5", 350 pounds. He's my lotto on the defense.
Oh, that's the dude I saw was playing on. Yeah.
And he runs like a 4.6 or something like that. He's fast, super fast. So
well, that means that we got to get rid of Cox.
Defense.
So are you saying that Cox is gone? Are you trying to replace Hargrave?
I'm not
I mean,
saying
who are you
anything.
trying
I
to?
just asked the question. I'm not
Well,
saying
I'm. Well, I mean, I don't think he's going to be there in the second round. I mean, unless your priority is a defensive tackle, a linebacker, and a safety, and not cornerback. But I look. Every time I see Russell Douglas play, man, he's picking off the ball. I'm tired of letting guys go, not giving guys a chance. I want McPherson I want McPherson. I mean, he's our draft pick. I mean, we need to start letting these draftees play, so we could see what we have in them moving forward. The whole Nelson signing, we all wanted Nelson, right? We was like Nelson. Every day we kept on chanting for Nelson. And I think McPherson could have did the same job he's doing, like honest truth, because Nelson has not been that good. I mean, he is the weakest link as far as the secondary go.
for sure.
Maddox has been balling out. JG is having him ball out. A big play Slay. Bless you. A big play Slay. He's the Pro Bowler. He's that glue in that secondary, but I do want McPherson to get a chance, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna see him out there today because last week I saw him out there playing. He's getting more snaps. But yeah, as far as defensive tackle, look, I like Cox for another year. I like Hargrave. I think you've seen Cox been balling the past couple of weeks. Like it seemed like. And he saved it just for this last 4 games. He's been getting sacks. He got a sack and a half last week. So he's still got a lot left in the tank. I just think that these guys, you need to put them in good position. And we can't afford to get rid of them anyway with this whole cap hit that we're going to eat up again. So, yeah, I just McPherson and I stay away from defensive tackle because we got Milton Williams. He could play defensive tackle. I mean, so I won't even go and look for a defensive tackle.
So I'll answer your second question first, AK, because I think that one's the most interesting. Look, I think when you go into the draft, like I said a few minutes ago, like best player available is always considered. And if you're sitting around there, I don't know kind of where he's projected to go, but if you're sitting around there like 18, 19, 20, around that range, and he's on the board. Look, I mean, he was 9th in Heisman voting this year. The dude can definitely, he can fit his gap and control, he can help stop a run, like shut down a whole run game just by shutting off the interior alone. And I know he's not the biggest need, but maybe if you bring him in here, maybe Milton is a little more on the edge. And, then you have a guy behind Hargrave for when Cox does eventually go. So I think it's definitely something you got to consider because I think he's got the physical traits. And I think if you can coach him up a little bit, in terms of, not just using power, which he'll be able to get home with power alone at some points, but if you can coach him up to work with his hands a little bit too, and, just be like a driver in that pass rush, you could be looking at a really good spot no matter who's playing that corner spot, which is why I went with that question first. Now with the corner spot, I do want to see, those guys. I wouldn't mind bringing in a veteran just as a safety blanket in case those guys don't really develop. But, I think that's another position. If you get a guy on the board in the draft you really like, maybe you take him. I think drafting corners is just in that first round. It can be very risky. I always worry about that. Yeah. It depends on who you got in the building developing. Now, obviously, didn't help that we had Corey Undlin in the building for however many years developing those guys. But I think that's something to consider. But, if you don't come away in the draft with the corner or anything, McPherson, he definitely wasn't my first pick in the draft. I wish we would have traded back into the third round. There were a couple guys I wanted there who fell, like Melifonwu. I like Benjamin St. Juste, but he went like right after we took Milton Williams. So that kind of went out the door very quickly. He's been good for Washington when he's been on the field. But, look, I think McPherson, he's obviously a good special teamer. So he's going to stick around all 4 years of his rookie contract no matter what. Like him and Shoshrai have been great on special teams. But I'm not sure if he's got what it takes to be like that outside lockdown corner at the number 2 spot. Gallen, I think, has got the mentality for sure. Like I think Gallen, just a dude, he knows that no one believes in him right now. He knows that no one wanted him. And I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. And I think that gives him a little bit of an extra edge here because I think a lot of us Eagles fans were thinking he was going to get picked like in at least early day 3. I
Oh,
was
I
very
wanted
surprised
him.
he fell.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
wanted
know
him.
he didn't. I know he didn't. I don't think he played in 2020 because of the COVID stuff. But
Yep. Yeah, he did.
still, I mean, I think if he would have played, he probably would have been picked. At that point. So I definitely want to see what he's got. I think you see what these guys got in the preseason, and then you evaluate from there. But I'd give if I'm going Gowan versus McPherson, I'd probably give him the edge. I'd keep an eye on Kerry Vincent. I mean, those LSU defensive backs always got a little something to them. So I'd give him a shot. But yeah, I would definitely want to see what Gowan's got. But I hope McPherson pans out just for the sake of how high we drafted him.
Yeah.
I mean, them making him a healthy scratch, is that them telling us something? I mean, why haven't they used him yet?
Who,
Gowan.
McPherson?
No,
Gowan? Oh.
like he's been a healthy scratch since he's got here, except for that neck injury that he had there when right at first. But we have not dressed him one time, not once. So I mean, what's that about? Are they saving him? What?
Man, hey, your guess is as good as mine, man. I don't know. Yeah, because we became a cornerback factory all of a sudden because we have too many. And that's the reason why we can't literally get nobody on the field because look, big play Slay, he got this one side locked down. I mean, unless you're trying to bring him in for Nelson, because in Maddox, hey, to me, he should have been in a Pro Bowl, as a nickel corner of this year. He's been playing that good. So the only side you have is either special teams or Nelson. And now we got McPherson back there, behind Nelson. I just think we have so many corners that we can't even give them a chance to be on the field.
Hey, by the way, did I hear it correctly that Dickerson made Pro Bowl alternative?
Did he?
Did he really?
I swear to God, in his last presser that he had, one of the news people asked him, they were like, "How's it feel being named a Pro Bowl alternative?"
And
that's the first time hearing that. And I was like, if that's the case, that's a hell of a feat for him because he didn't play the first half of the season for the most part.
Well, I mean, look, that's the thing. We should have had at least all 5 of them be in a Pro Bowl. When did you see a team that's leading the NFL in rushing and only have one guy go to a Pro Bowl? One.
It's a popularity contest, my guy.
I know, but like, you got the Dallas, Tyron Smith, right? He missed about 4 games, and he made the Pro Bowl. He was barely playing. Yeah. So, like, this is ridiculous, man. I think it should be half fans and then half common sense people. Hey, this dude, this team is leading the NFL in rushing. Yeah. We was 29th before we met the Detroit Lions. We was 29th, and all of a sudden now, 8 weeks later, we're number 1. I mean, you have to give these guys credit. Mariota, a good point. Yeah, Mariota, I mean, to me, it's not even fair, and I think, it's a disappointment for them too. I mean, you can see it, man. If you're on Twitter, man, they're always posting, hey, help us get to the Pro Bowl. I mean, hey, it's a disappointment. But all right, so let's get back to a matchup real quick. All right, so what matchup are y'all looking forward to the most?
I mean, honestly, it's got to be what we talked about earlier. It's got to be the offensive line versus their defensive front, especially with Montez Sweat out. That's where we're going to win this football game, no doubt in my mind. Those guys are going to control the line of scrimmage. We're going to create lanes for the running backs. They're going to keep Jalen protected back there. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty short and sweet for me. I mean, I think that's really just the big thing to key in on this game. I don't think there's any individual matchups I'm worried about too much. And, yeah, Philly halftime, just to sidetrack real quick. Traylon Burks actually Arkansas, but SEC nonetheless. So I do love that dude. He's my favorite wide receiver in the draft.
I'm not looking forward to seeing anything. Listen, hey, if you want me to be real, the best matchup we're probably going to get today is McLaren versus Slay. That's your matchup to watch. I mean, honestly, our offensive line should be able to stomp a mud hole in this defensive line.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not even playing. They should be able to. I'm not really worried about their corners and our wide receivers. I don't think it's ever going to get to that point. You know, it's going to be on the ground. And the only hope at all that Washington has now is McLaren. So, I said it 2 weeks ago. If we stop Gibson, we win because that's all they had at the time. Well, now you take Gibson out of the equation. Now all you have definitely for sure now is McLaren.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing you need to watch. Seriously.
Yeah. Look, hey, I want to see Dallas Goedert, man. I want to see Dallas Goedert go against whoever is trying to guard him.
That ain't no matchup.
Huh?
That ain't no matchup.
Hey, look, I need him because he's in my fantasy, man. He's in my fantasy. I'm playing for the championship today. I'm playing for the championship today. There's $500 on the line, man. So I'm telling you right now, I need Goddard.
Short season.
Huh?
We got a short season then. I think I'm just
ready.
What?
No, the fantasy is usually last week. You start to play because I had played all 3 rounds. So yeah. But look. And I had Boston
this
Scott.
Time and never even noted. Wow.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And
my bad.
Hey, all right. So I do have a question for you, Hunter. I have Christian Kirk, of course, on the bench, or Boston Scott. Who are you starting? Boston Scott or Christian Kirk? Because at the flex position.
Mm-hmm. I feel good about Boston Scott today, man. I'm starting him in a couple leagues. I'm not in any championships this year, sadly, but I think Boston's going to get a little bit of PPR, and if Jordan is a little banged up at all, they'll lean on Boston a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be a focal point of the offense. Kirk, it's just tough with that Arizona offense because you never know what direction they're going to lean in on a given game day. It just kind of depends on matchups. Like sometimes it's going to be Ertz they're going to go to a little bit. Sometimes they're going to spread the ball out. Sometimes AJ Green's going to get fed. With Hopkins out, it definitely helps Kirk, but there also could be a chance that Edmonds and Connor have a good day, or maybe their offense just gets shut down completely. So it's really tough with Kirk. I think Kirk will do damage against Anthony Brown, who's terrible second corner, but I just don't know how many targets he's going to get or how much they're going to lean on him. So Kirk is to me, if you want a boom, I would go with Kirk. But if you're just looking for, hopefully a consistent day, I'm hoping Boston Scott will find the end zone at some point.
All right. Hey, look, this is my starting lineup. At quarterback, Josh Allen. At my 2 running backs are Aaron Jones, Najee Harris. My wide receivers, Cooper Kupp, Hunter Renfrow. My tight end, Goddard. My flex, Boston Scott. My kicker is the Rams, a kicker and Gay. And then my defense is Bucks against Jets. So that's my starting lineup. So hey,
if you have Kupp, you're chilling.
hey, you ready? You ready for this, man? This is what I'm gonna win my championship with. I didn't even realize, but I'm actually playing Jordy right now for the championship.
What?
In our one league, yeah, it's me versus Jordy. But yeah, I got Justin Herbert, I got Swift, I got Sony Michel, I got Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks, Travis Kelce, Jalen Waddle, 49ers, and Mike. I think it's Michael Gay, isn't it? The kicker for the Rams.
Yeah. That's the one I got. Yeah.
And then I do also have Michael Williams too. I have Claypool. I have Cordell Patterson, Noah Fant. Gibson's out now, and I got Gallup in the Chargers D. That's my bench.
What the only thing is, Brandon Cook, is he been eating this year, or would you put in? Would you swap Mike Williams for Cook or what?
Wait, what?
You said in your starting lineup you got Brandon Cooks,
they're playing
right?
Denver. No, LA Chargers are playing Denver, and Houston's playing San Francisco. I believe Cook's gonna. I believe Cook's gonna cook. Houston.
All right. Hey, Cook is gonna cook. All right,
Waddle's gonna put up them points for you too. Waddle's huge in fantasy.
Yeah. So I can't. It's a win-win for me, honestly.
Yeah, man. All right. Hey, man. Hey, Hunter. Hey, what's your lineup like on you?
You want to hear my third place lineup?
I do have a question though. I do have a question. Would you start Cordell Patterson against Buffalo's defense?
Look, hey, Cordell,
I want it
but
'cause I
Cordell is a
benched him.
utility guy. Yo, he do it all. I mean, that's the Falcons' whole offense. It's Cordell. I mean, I have him in one of my leagues.
I have Cordero, and the last 2 weeks he's absolutely screwed me out of a championship.
So that's why you bitter.
And also the Buffalo is just tough to run on too. So
Well, see, you got Swift going against Seattle, who's 31st, so that he should be fine there.
Yeah.
And then you have Michael going against Baltimore.
yeah,
Or then I have Cordell Patterson against, like I said, Buffalo. So
Yeah.
it would have to be to replace either Michael or Swift, but I'm not confident in him playing Buffalo. I'm really not.
No, I like the 2 guys you're starting.
Okay.
All right. Hey, let's get to your 3 keys to victory and your score prediction. I mean, this is the time right here,
Yeah. All right.
You want to go first?
I'll start us off.
There you go.
Keys to victory. So 1, just run the ball, dominate in the run game, vary your run concepts, like not the same thing every time, but also don't be afraid to go back to just pounding it right up the middle through their throat. So that's key number 1. Key number 2 is stay aggressive on defense. Heineke, make sure you cage him in. You don't want to let him roll out at all, especially for that left pylon where he's so deadly. But, make sure you cage him in, but also don't be afraid to send a little pressure. Don't be afraid to go man to man and just keep one safety back there because, Slade's going to lock up McLaurin. Maybe he'll have 1 or 2 catches, but that's going to be it. Kim Sims is underrated. I mean, he could do some damage against Nelson, but I think we're going to be okay there. And whoever Maddox has got, whether it's Humphreys or, whoever they want to put out there, Maddox is going to lock them up. And I think we're going to be fine at the linebacker position. So don't be afraid to be aggressive. And then key number 3 is just stay disciplined. No turnovers early this time. You got to start fast. We had a lot of penalties last week. A lot.
Yeah.
So no penalties. And, we're going to have some, but not as many penalties as last week. Go back to the brand of football you were playing, the clean, disciplined brand of football. And yeah, just make sure you guys all got your assignments and don't make any big mistakes on the back end. So just disciplined football is my 3rd key.
Yeah, I'm with him there. Disciplined football, first and foremost. Time of possession is my 2nd one. Like, just dominate, pure domination. And then 3rd, I just want you to take the John, and I want you to run the John up the middle, down the road. And I want you to take that John, and I want you to get that John into the end zone. I want you to win this John, because that's what we do is we win. So that's my key 3 keys to victory.
All right. Look, hey, I control the trenches, man. I mean, offense and defensive line. I mean, we need to go and dominate this team. Do not play around with Washington. You have everything in front of you. They had nothing in front of them. Like, do not mess around and have this come down to the 4th quarter. No, control the line of scrimmage, run the ball, and play aggressive defense. That's it. Run the ball, control line of scrimmage, and aggressive defense. All right. I need Jonathan Gannon to go after whoever's back there. And by the way, they did say their head coach said that Allen and Heineke might be playing. So I mean, they might switch them out. So it doesn't really matter who's back there. You need to take advantage. These quarterbacks are not good. There's a reason why that they are 6-9. Heineke, I rather play Heineke because he stands back there. Allen is a little bit mobile. He's not afraid to take off and run and, and throw the ball. So who would y'all rather face, Heineke or Allen, or it is what it is. It doesn't matter.
We're winning no matter what.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. We are winning no matter what. And what's your score prediction?
34-10.
All right.
34-10.
I got 31-17.
Oh, wait. Was you listening to my live, Hunter?
I was not. No. Did you get the same prediction?
Well, because the thing is this: the Eagles have only won 1 game this year when they now scored 30 points, and which was against the Panthers. But every game that we lost or won, we put up 30 plus. Yeah. So I always say 30. You know what I mean? Hey, on a safe bet, 30. I say 30-17. So yeah.
There we go.
So we'll see, man. Hey, man. Look, hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for agreeing to jump on here and let's just talk, and talk some football, man. I wish y'all the best of luck. And hey, before we get out of here, man, let them know whatever y'all working on, any more other platform they could find y'all on. So go ahead, Ego Uncensored.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me on to do this. I love talking football with you both. It's always an intelligent conversation when we get to talk. So it's refreshing. You know, you guys really know your shit, and I admire that. But yeah, man, I am AK Eagles. I do a lot of podcasts, a lot. I got my conspiracy one I do on Monday nights. I'll be starting that back up here now that the holidays are over. I got the East Meets West with my boy Philly Foothills and my guy Vic 3. I'm starting to do the cave, the late night in the cave again with One Trey Rock. I got the late night Eagles talk show with me and Jerry Lee. And then I also have the Aftermath podcast after the games every Sunday with Bird Gang 31 and them guys over there on the Bird Gang Sports Media. So, I do that, and I'm just all over, man. So, like I said, I appreciate you. And speaking of the man himself, there he is, Bird Gang 31. What's up, my guy? Happy New Year to you, sir. And but yeah, man, I am AK Eagles from the Eagles Uncensored podcast. I may fuss and cuss, but you can count on me and my content like the city bus. And if you like the Wagyu,
hey, man, I love it. I love it. Hey, hit my boy up, man. Hit him up. Hey, are you on Twitter too, right?
Yeah, I'm at AK Eagles 88 on Twitter.
Love it.
Same thing on Instagram as well.
Love it. All right, my guy.
Hey, you guys can find me on Philly Insider Podcast on YouTube, and we're on Apple and Spotify. I write for Inside the Eagles too, so check me out on there. And we're starting up some stuff with Gate City Sports Media, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I was glad to join you guys. And AK Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT.
Hey, and no lie, dude, I'm gonna tell you this. I do want to give you a shout out, bro. You are truly one of the youngest, brightest minds that I know of, and I just want you to know that you truly are. You know your shit, bro. And I'm, you know what? Because Hunter backs me on Aaron Rodgers. Fuck you all.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
No, hey, look, hey, AK is absolutely right, man. Hey, the first time I ever did live with you, I'm like, man, I gotta get this guy back. I gotta get this guy back on here. And ever since then, man, you are a walking Eagle encyclopedia. Like, I mean, that's what I call you. Mr. Encyclopedia himself is about to be on my channel. Yo,
very humbling.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate both of y'all, man. And of course, man, hey, y'all can find me at JC Eagles on all platforms, Twitter, IG, Facebook. And I will be doing a play-by-play right after this. So just come hang out. I mean, whether we winning or losing, I will be there the whole time, chatting throughout the whole time. Hey, come hang out with me. Hey, just have fun. All right. So any last words, fellas? Any last words?
Happy birthday, Jalen Reagor.
Happy birthday, Jalen Reagor. Birthday today?
Yes, sir.
Oh, hey, I hope Jalen Reagor would catch a touchdown on his birthday.
Please.
All right. Hey, as always, hey, go Birds.